That there was a time when God was there and there was nothing with Him. Now it's not appropriate to think about that time, specifically in the light of what the fifth Imam has said. That don't think about the entity of God, don't think about the appearance of God, don't think about the existence of God as how He is. Look at His powers, look what He has given to the people, look at His signs, and then you will understand the greatness of God. At that point of time, to understand that the first creation of God was the Holy Prophet, and we had explained this. But the importance of this man, of this entity, of this personality was so great, and we will discuss it. Today it's all about the azamat of the Holy Prophet. And the importance of this is so great that we've got traditions from the sixth Imam and two traditions from the sixth Imam that we will be presenting. One of them says that إِذَا كَانَ جِبْرَائِيل أَتَى النَّبِيِّ, that when Hadrat Jibreel alayhi salam would come to the Holy Prophet, he would not enter into the presence of the Holy Prophet حَتَّى يَسْتَعْذِنَهُ, except that he would seek his permission. Till he would not seek the permission of the Holy Prophet, the Sayyidul Malaika would not enter in the presence of the Holy Prophet. And then once he entered into the presence of the Holy Prophet, the Riwayat says, the sixth Imam says, وَكَانَ يَقْعُدْ, he would sit قِعْدَةَ الْعَبِيدِ, he would sit as a slave sits before a master. Now you have to realize this is Sayyidul Malaika. This entity is being given the authority by God to give his message to the Holy Prophet. He's bringing the message of the Holy Prophet. At that point of time, when he's coming to the Holy Prophet, he does two things. One, he's bringing the orders of God. He's bringing the message of God. He's bringing the communication of God, yet he does not come into his presence unless he seeks his permission. One. And when he's given the permission, when he's sitting, the Riwayat says, in certain traditions, he would sit as a slave sits before his master. It's very unreasonable to even try to fathom completely the greatness of this personality of the Holy Prophet. But certain things have been given to us that we can try to understand. Certain things we will definitely not understand. We will visibly experience it on the Day of Judgment. But this is one thing. Second, when it is talked about these individuals, we might say, okay, these are those individuals who have to be inferior to the Holy Prophet. But there are people from the family of the Ahlul Bayt. The sixth Imam, for example, whenever he would sit with his companions and talk about the Holy Prophet, whenever he would refer to a certain tradition of the Holy Prophet, whenever he would say, قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمَ, the Riwayat says, تَغَيَّرَ لَوْنُهُ, his face would change, the color of his face would change, the demeanor would change because of the azamat, because of the intensity of that name, the rank of that name. It's something similar that we see with respect to the Ma'asumeen when it is related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With respect to the fourth Imam, it is said he would start doing the wudu and he would start shivering. His countenance would change. Why? Because now he's realizing he's going in the presence of an entity who is the Supreme Master of the universe. Over here, when the sixth Imam is talking about his grandfather, the countenance changes because he's realized, he knows what personality this is, the rank that this man holds in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is this person that we want to discuss about. As is already known, and we had very briefly spoken about this at the Shahadat of the Holy Prophet, that the Prophet was born in the year, just a little introduction before we go to what we want to discuss. 20-25 minutes and then we should terminate. In the year of Amul Fil, the year of the elephants, again a brief reminder and without any explanation, the year in which Abraha brought about his army of elephants to destroy the Kaaba. And then Surah Al-Fil, Tafsir, you can read it to know what happens. All of us know what happens, the details are over there. And in the Qisas al-Anbiya, numerous books, certain books in which the Qisas al-Anbiya have been picked up from Tafsir al-Mizan and various other books. But that is the incident of Abraha. In the olden days, after the migration, the year began to start from the Hijrat. So we say year 1436, 1435 Hijri. That means from the migration. But prior to migration, there were two other points whereby the calendar would be ascribed to. One was Amul Fil. That means the Holy Prophet, when he was born, everything would be related to Amul Fil. 5 years from Amul Fil, 7 years from Amul Fil. And that was the start of their calendar in those times.